What's up, friends? I'm Josh, and welcome back to the TCNR Network for some more Scream 5 news. Long-awaited, very delayed Scream 5 news. So this past week, we've had a lot of information come out about the new Scream film, Scream 2022, Scream 5, however you want to refer to it. Now, a lot of people are saying that these are leaks and spoilers, and I don't feel that they're leaky or spoilery leaky at all. These are all things that I have said in previous videos, that I have speculated about in previous videos, things that have been said in interviews with the producers and the creators of this new film, things that have just been like sprinkled along the way, but the words are just slightly changed. So personally, I do not believe that there's any spoilers or any leaks here. If anything, it's just a little bit more hype and a little bit more excitement and something more for us to talk about. However, if you're one of those people that doesn't want to know anything that could even be a possibility, you're probably not here on my channel. But just, like maybe don't watch this video, go watch the other ones. But there's no proof that these are actual facts. There's no proof that this information is coming from anybody related to the film. They say, I work for Paramount, but anyone can say, I work for Paramount. Like, I could sit here and say, I work for Paramount and tell you all this stuff, pretend that it's fact, and it just turn out to be complete BS. So without further ado, I'm going to go through this little list of things that could potentially be some exciting information, and I'm going to break it down, talk about what I think it really means, and we'll just work through it together. So first of all, let me explain where this information is coming from. There's a website and an Instagram. I believe it's called De Moi, which is French, which means to, and moi means like me, so like it's to me, maybe? I mean, I'm Canadian, so I should probably know, but I'm going to call it De Moi. De Moi is basically a submission board where people can, fill out a form, an online form, send it in if they've seen celebrities or they've seen something filming or they know some gossip or they know some tea, whatever it is, they submit via the website, and De Moi shares it on their Instagram, on their website. It's an exciting place to get exciting news for upcoming films, television shows, celebrity goss, the usual. So the message on this one says, a lot of people are wondering about the new Scream movie. I can say a couple of things. Number one, don't get attached to anyone. Seriously, haha, there's some surprising kills. Now listen, I'm not even gonna move on to 2, 3, and 4 yet. We've already talked about this. We've already said that anything is up for grabs. Nobody is safe. We know that. The producers, the creators of this film have already said that, nobody's safe in this film. Anything can happen. People that have read the script said anything can happen. Be prepared for surprises and things that are just going to blow your mind. So that's not a spoiler. That's not news. It's just in other words, and I am here for it because I need one of the legacy characters to die. I know most of you disagree with me, but I need one of them. It's time for one of them to go, because that is just, it's going to be like them taking Randy all over again. We're going to be shocked. We're going to be surprised. It's going to make the film all that more meaningful, if it's done right. Moving along to number 2. They're going to set it up for a sequel. They're going to set it up for a sequel, Scream 6. Also something I've said before. I've heard that the ending of this film is definitely going to leave us on a cliffhanger. I've said it in my previous videos, that the end of Scream 5 is going to leave us wanting more. There's going to be unanswered questions. There's not necessarily going to be like a button on the end of the film. There's not necessarily going to be a resolution. There's supposedly, according to the creators of The Mask, 2 different sets of Ghostface killers. A main Ghostface and then a different Ghostface. And their masks are somehow not related, but also related. Different iterations, I think, is what the creator of The Mask was alluding to. So maybe, one of the killers, there's a button, they find out who it is, and then right at the end we find out there's another set of Ghostface killers, or, some kind of twist that's going to leave us wanting more and going to lead into Scream 6. We already knew that. Number 3, it has a similar vibe to the first and second installments. Again, we've talked about this. People that have read the script said it really calls back to the first film. It has the same emotion, the same vibe, the same tone, the darkness, the grittiness, the horror elements that were a little bit taken away in Scream 3 and Scream 4, which I wasn't mad about. I love those films. But bringing it back to that original slasher that just shocked us all, that changed the genre, I think is a very good idea. And again, something we've talked about before. Number 4. The OGs, Neve, Courtney, and David, give their best performances in this one. Sort of talked about this before. We've talked about how the script is mind-blowing. People that have read the script, the writer of, I believe it was the writer of Freaky, the movie that came out recently, which was really good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. The writer said that this script is the best script he read last year, and I'm sure that writer reads a lot of scripts. The script from Scream 5 is getting a lot of attention. Obviously, the cast members have been raving about it. The directors raved about it. Anybody who's read it, especially the OGs, Courtney, David, and Neve, are raving about it, saying that it is one of the best scripts they've ever read, which obviously would mean they get to perform their asses off. They get to act. They're probably going to have intense chase scenes. They're going to be terrified. We want to see them terrified, just like they were in the first Scream. Again, nobody's safe, so I would imagine they all have some really intense chase scenes or very emotional scenes. If one of them dies, they're going to be very emotional. So, not a surprise. Again, something we've talked about. Number 5. A really popular new artist recorded a song for the credits. She shares a name with a popular Friends character. So right away, everyone was speculating that this is Phoebe Bridges. Phoebe Bridger? Phoebe Bridger. Phoebe Bridger. I can never remember her last name. Oops. Phoebe Bridger is what I'm going to call her. I think that's right. I've heard a few of her songs. They're very kind of like edgy, indie. They have a little bit of a creepy vibe. I want to say like Lana Del Rey with a little Billie Eilish with, just a little bit of her own identity. That's really the only Friends character that might share a name with the singer that would fit that vibe of Scream. I read a few comments on other videos of people saying, no, why would they be planning a soundtrack? That's so stupid, da-da-da-da-da. Why wouldn't they be planning a soundtrack? This film is going to be bigger than I think a lot of us are expecting it to be, and to have a really dope soundtrack to go with it, to have, music that is also used in the film but reflects the vibe of the film, just like they did with Scream 1, Scream 2. I think Scream 3 also had a soundtrack, and 4. But the first one, the soundtrack was just, you could just identify it right away. Scream. That music was from Scream. No matter where you heard it, you remembered the scenes that it was used in. And since they're calling back to the first one, the original Scream, I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to make a soundtrack that we would all recognize, that would forever be identified as the Scream 5 or Scream 2022 soundtrack. So, I'm here for it. And finally, number 6. The post-production team is taking their time with the editing process because they have multiple endings to work with. Again, we know that they are taking their time with editing because guess what? They have an entire year to do it. I also watched one of the interviews with the directors saying that they've been watching it over and over. They're extremely involved in the editing process. After all, this is their baby, and they want it to be perfect. So that's pretty cool that they're really taking the time, that they're emotionally invested, that they were affected by the original Scream films and inspired to become who they are today, to make this Scream 5, which is, exactly who we want to make Scream 5. Now, the multiple endings to work with, we also know that most Scream movies have multiple scripts, multiple endings. I don't know if multiple endings have been filmed in the past, but multiple scripts have definitely been a thing of the Scream franchise to make sure that nothing gets leaked, to make sure that nobody finds out any information until the film comes out in theaters. So it would be really cool if they had multiple endings. Perhaps we could even see those in like a director's cut or deleted scenes to see maybe different people playing Ghostface, different reveals. I think would be really cool. Obviously, they have one that they know is the one that they're going to stick with, and the other ones are just like, little throwaways, or if things get leaked, they can hopefully leak the wrong ones. I mean, hopefully no leaks. But that's something we already knew and is to be expected with the Scream series. All right, now moving on to a second submission that was sort of a response to the first one that we just went over. The message says, I was definitely not lying about those last two. Laughing my ass off. Maybe the person isn't as connected to the movies as they think. I guess someone came and said, like, those aren't truthful. Those aren't real. I work on the film. these are not fact, which, again, anyone can say. They work anywhere, really. So this is all very misleading and very confusing. Someone else responded and said, the last two are in fact correct. I'm actually involved in all movies coming out of Paramount Pictures. I will say that there are actually 3 new yet successful artists in play for music usage for the film. I find it very unlikely that someone would come out and say, I'm very involved in the film. I work for Paramount. I know what's going on. That just doesn't seem normal to me, I guess. I feel like they're trying to keep Scream 5 under wraps, and not a lot of people are maybe involved in the process simply because they don't want things to be leaked. And for someone to come out and say, I'm very involved with Paramount, and that they know about the 3 new artists that may be recording music, kind of like there's only so many people you can pick from that would know that information. So either this person is lying or they're just validating that there's some truth to these new leaky spoilers. And now we're moving on to the 3rd submission, which I find this one very interesting. The message says, the audition process / filming process was weird. No one was sent the same script, each having a different ending. About 5 to 7 were sent out. So nobody knew exactly how it ended until it was filmed. Also, fun cameo throughout the movie. People are going to love. My brain is just like going wild. Who could the fun cameo be? Like, who's alive to bring back other than Kirby? Huh? Who? We know Martha Meeks is in it. We know that. So like that's not the fun cameo that we're going to love, because we already know. It's not a secret. Otherwise they would say Martha Meeks is back and they're going to love her performance or something. Like, that's not the fun cameo. Who else could it be that would be a surprise other than Kirby? I can't think. If you have any idea, let me know down below and tell me why, because I have no idea who it could be. So in response to that message, we have another message that says, this is also correct. I've seen dailies. Dailies are like what they send that they filmed every day, clips that they've filmed every day that's sent to the studio for sort of like approval, I'm pretty sure. But we are creating a teaser and can't even get a copy of the script or full feature footage. What we are given is heavily watermarked. I will say what I've seen is amazing, and Neve and Courtney are giving it their all. What about David? I told you one of them's gonna die. Paramount is banking on this franchise to revive their expected struggling 2021 revenue and 2022 movie slate. Anticipate there being little to no leaks about this film, which is exactly what I've been saying, exactly what I want. No leaks. None of this information is a leak. None of it is really 100% confirmed, and even if it was, it's not giving anything away. So we need to chill. Ain't no leaks coming. All that information about 5 to 7 different scripts, the audition process being very secretive. You could audition an actor. They could audition by reading the script from the final scene. Then they know what's going to happen, and then they spoil it if they don't get cast. Or like, I can imagine there's a lot of vengeful actors out there, so I'm sure they kept it very secretive, but that'd be pretty cool to be one of the cast members that was officially cast and not knowing how this film is going to end. You filmed your scenes, you're probably dead, and you've gone home, and now you have to wait, just like the rest of us, to find out who Ghostface actually is. And again, the fun cameo thing is like blowing my mind. All right. And finally, this little screenshot here, Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, who is one of the men of Radio Silence, creating the new Scream franchise, if you will. I'm assuming it's going to be a franchise, is following Demois on Instagram. And this rounds out my whole spiel by saying none of this is leaks. I think it's all being done on purpose. It is a genius marketing plan. There's so much that creators of films now have at their fingertips, so much connection to the fans, that it's very easy to just promote your film by submitting on a submission board, posting a picture, leaving a comment, even liking someone's tweet now gets analyzed and it becomes basically free marketing. So I've been saying throughout this whole process that I'm fairly certain that this is all part of the plan. We haven't had any leaks except for one, which I have not talked about on the channel and I will not talk about on the channel, but there's basically been no actual leaks. There has, however, been little breadcrumbs sprinkled that are making us all talk about Scream 5, that a year out from this film, it's already getting hyped up. We don't even have any really like official images, you know, promotional images. We have the ones that Kevin Williamson posted, but we don't have anything official from this film other than these little breadcrumb leaks. Leaky spoilers. That's the new term. Leaky spoilers are fake spoilers. So I'm pretty sure the men of Radio Silence and Paramount know what they are doing. They are allowing people maybe to give a little bit of information, but nothing that is going to spoil the film. It's just going to excite us. It's going to add to their marketing plan, and it's going to make this movie a massive success. That's all the Scream 5 news I have for you guys today. I'm sorry for my absence. As I said in my previous video, technology has not been my friend this week. Nothing has been working, but I'm back, and I'm back for good. Unless Mercury goes back into like retrograde or whatever's going on. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at True Crime Nursery Rhymes, on TikTok and Twitter at TCNR Network. Fun fact, on my TikTok, I make fun of a lot of my haters that leave me nasty ass comments. I make little fun videos about them, just my way of venting and, you know, getting my revenge. Visit my shop, truecrimenurseryrhymes.com, for a lot of Scream-inspired merch, my book, True Crime Nursery Rhymes, and a bunch of fun other stuff. Again, like, comment, and subscribe so that you always stay up to date with me and my horror movie, and of course, Scream 5 news. Until next time, I'll be right back.